Hey, my name's Kayla. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. This is my first teacher diary entry, and today we're talking about getting pink slipped. Yeah. I hope this video brings you comfort. I hope that you feel heard. I hope that you feel like you are not the only one potentially going through this. Hopefully you never have to go through it, but my goodness, does it give you some grit? My intention for this video is to maybe help heal anything you're going through. Teachers, we like to heal. We teachers are healers, a lot of us. And to make you feel heard, empathized, sympathized with, and to let you know, to encourage you to keep moving forward and maybe to illuminate why certain things may happen within the education career of teaching. If you like videos like these, hit that like button for me, please. I'm a little small channel. You could help me out. Thanks. Enjoy. To give a little background, I have been teaching for 11 years, coming up on my 12th year. I am certified P through 12 theater education and recently have obtained my master's degree in education leadership. So that is a little background on me. I have worked in 3 schools now, and as I said in the intro, have been pink slipped way more times than I've been hired. Like, so many times that I don't even know if I can remember an accurate number. So I hope that this probably is geared more towards newer teachers within the first 5 years of teaching, and I hope it brings comfort. If I haven't mentioned that already, I'm filming the intro at the end of this. So, I don't know, I just felt compelled to sit down and film this today and see where it goes. I don't even know where to begin. I had a unique experience with student teaching in that I was only placed in like one placement when I was an undergrad, whereas most people go to 2 different placements. So I was there for much longer than your average student teacher, and I absolutely fell in love with the kids because I was basically there an entire college semester. And I absolutely bawled my eyes out when student teaching was over because I loved those kids so much, and they loved me. My cooperating teacher ended up getting a job at another school, so that position came open. And of course I applied and I got the job, which was amazing. I got to come back to the kids that I fell in love with, that I spent so much time with. And I just want to clarify, like, I spent so much time with them because when I was student teaching, I was helping coach the speech team, and I actually directed the spring musical. So if anybody that watches me knows anything about that world, that's a lot of time, a lot of travel, a lot of late nights. It's not just, I see you at 8 in the morning to 3 p.m. and we go home. So I got hired, and I got to do my first year of teaching with my kids that a student taught, and it was awesome, and I loved it, and everything went well. It was hard work for sure, but I was young and energetic, and I was happy. Then my second year rolled around. I didn't get pink slip my first year, so that was cool, but I did. Second year, I was bringing home all of these titles for the speech team. We had great theatrical productions. I was basically living out of a suitcase because I was traveling constantly. There was one day I worked a 20-hour day because I was speech coach, theater director, and a full-time teacher. And I was planning a wedding, and I was doing K-tip. There was one point where I had to go to like urgent care because my whole arm went numb. I was just doing too much. I was doing way too much, and it was very stressful, but I didn't really care because I was so thankful to have a job. And at that point in time, I don't know how it is when you're watching this video, but to have a job in the arts was a huge deal. And to have a job in the arts and get to keep your job was a huge deal. So I was just thankful because I thought I would be at that job forever, at that school forever. Well, that didn't happen. I was pulled into the office and was told that I was not going to be returning that year, and it was due to budget cuts. And that seems to be, every time I'm pink slip, that seems to be the reason. And I am not an administrator. I am not privy to like budgets and everything. But from my point of view, it's always the arts person that gets cut when the money gets low. So you see where the priorities lie. I'm trying not to make this political. I'm trying to be just very level-headed as much as possible. You could be a social studies teacher watching this and be going through the same thing. The point of this video is to hopefully bring comfort and to share in maybe the pain that you're feeling, but also give you hope and inspiration that it's all going to be fine and that sometimes we go through these things for a reason. Whew. So I won't go into any more details about my first job. I was devastated. We just had a flood go through the city I was living in. We lost our car. And I remember just breaking down in that office like, what am I going to do? I don't have a job. What am I going to do? We just lost our car in the flood, and you know, insurance isn't covering it for whatever reason. I can't remember. Now I don't have a job, and now I don't have a car. Of course, that wasn't their problem to figure out. So I went home. I bawled. I called my best friend. Funny enough, my husband, I didn't get a hold of him or something, and he left work with hours still to go and just came home because he just felt in his heart something was wrong, and he didn't know that I had lost my job, and I was sitting there crying on the couch, and he just held me, and that was kind of amazing how connected he was with me. So the very next day, I get out on my back deck, and I'm looking at this beautiful nature that I live around, and I start applying for jobs. You just got to move forward. And I applied for anything and everything that came about. I had some interviews. I did well at all of them because I made sure my resume was top notch. I came in with a portfolio, and some of my interviews led me to the city I live in now. And I had 2 offers, which were both in big cities, which were both the top paying districts in the entire state in which I live. And I could choose to do middle school in this city that was closer to where I grew up, or I could choose to do elementary in the city that I'm in now. And I called up one of my theater professors who I did children's theater with, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this. And she said some amazing words to me and said, you can. You've done it before. You can do this. So I did. I took the job, and basically the elementary school that I got hired to work at that led me here was like working at friggin' Disneyland. I'm not even kidding. I can't believe that I was so passionate about this other place, and that does not discredit the love that I had for those kids. I still love them, and they still love me, and I am still involved in some of their lives. So, but the place was toxic, and I couldn't see that. And sometimes life will remove you, or spirit, if you're spiritual, will remove you from situations that aren't healthy for you. Like I said, my arm was going numb. I was living out of a suitcase. I barely remember the first years of my marriage. I slept the entire honeymoon. I was exhausted, and it wasn't healthy for me. But then I was brought to this beautiful city this beautiful school with these beautiful people and these beautiful elementary children that just warmed my heart. And I said, and I'm spiritual, so if you're not, that's okay, no judgment. I thanked God for getting me out of a situation that I wouldn't have removed myself from had it not been for that pink slip. So then I came here and I worked in this gorgeous, beautiful, happy school for 2 years. And then I was pink slipped again. Here we go again. And like I said, I've been pink slipped so many times. I feel like I was pink slipped twice at that school, the elementary school. Like I think I was pink slipped, but then we worked it out and I got to come back. So I was like, phew. So that made me happy. I got to stay, but I still was like, the second time it happened, I was like, oh, this again? Oh my gosh. Get a little like shaky and nervous talking about all this. I've healed from it all, so I don't know. Maybe it's just bringing up. I'm just going back to some of those feelings that I felt. So at the elementary school, like I said, I'm pretty sure I was pink slipped twice. And the last time I was pink slipped, it was funding, and this was legit. Like, it's a very upstanding school. There's no shadiness. It was, we lost our Title I funding. There was a new school opening up, and they didn't have the funding to pay for, was it 6 specials teachers? And so they had to take a vote at SBDM. Do we keep technology or do we keep drama? Obviously they kept technology, okay? It's the world. I understand. But I did try to fight for it. Like, I went to the meetings and I was like, please keep me. And again, it just, I served my time there. I learned things. I made beautiful connections. I made beautiful connections with the kids, these little beautiful kids. But I was pink slipped. And this time there was no coming back unless I wanted to do part-time. I couldn't afford that. So I started applying again. I was offered a job at the high school that I'm at now. And there were actually students on the interview panel. And I was like, this is cool. They care about what their kids, what their students want. They want their students to have a choice in who teaches them and loves them. And I was hired there. And my first year was rough. I was still devastated that I was no longer working at Disneyland. Some of the upperclassmen high school kids were not welcoming to me at all. They were very much missing their former teacher, which I totally understand. I would want my kids to miss me too if I left, and they did. So that adjustment was hard. So it was like they were adjusting and I was trying to adjust, but I was still sad, and then I was kind of being rejected there. And then I tell you what, I worked my tail off, but we had a good year, and I made some good relationships with those kids. But then I'll be darned, I'm pretty sure I got pink slipped again after that first year there. I'm like, am I in the wrong profession, universe? Am I not supposed to be a teacher? It was darn hard enough just to even become a teacher in college, because I'm not even going to get into that. That's a whole other video. It was just obstacle, roadblock after roadblock after obstacle, even in college, keeping me from becoming a teacher. And if you're spiritual, I think it's evilness knew of the good that I could bring to kids, and wanted to keep me from that. But if you're not spiritual, just be like, oh, her life freaking, was hard for a little bit. That's cool. No judgment. So they figured something out, and I got to come back my second year. And I was like, man, I cannot wait to get tenured so I don't have to worry for my job and like livelihood every spring, because that's when they tell you, at least in my state. And I'll be darned, that second year, I'm pretty sure I got pink slipped again at the high school. I was like, my gosh. It makes you slip into a depression sometimes. When you put your heart and soul in your passion, you work long hours. I was doing shows. Like, you're one of the last teachers to leave the building and you don't feel that you're valued. But it's not that. That's how you feel, but it may not be that's what's going on behind the scenes. So you have to be subjective in that way, but sometimes places just don't value you. They're just like, you're replaceable, whatever. But then I was hired back. They were able to like work out numbers and funding and stuff, and because I was invited back, like I finally on day one of that next year got tenured, and I didn't have to worry about budget cuts or anything like that. But the thing that was neat is like, I think these kids over here, I know I was working at like Disney, right? These kids over here, I think they needed me more. And I was pulled from the most positive work culture I've ever seen and placed over here in challenging circumstances and situations. But those kids needed me more. And the cool thing is those elementary kids that I fell in love with, I actually teach them now up here at the high school. So I get to love them and guide them and nurture them all over again. And it's a beautiful thing. And in the high school, it is so close to the home that I was able to buy. When you get taken away from situations involuntarily, maybe it's protecting you. Maybe someone else needs you more over here. Maybe your health is being saved from this place over here that you wouldn't have left anyways. And who knows, like, as years go on, like, some of these things that happen, I start to see, like, why they happened. And also, one of the teachers, my first years of teaching, told me, teaching in life in general, it's like a roller coaster. There's going to be highs and there's going to be lows. But there's more highs typically than lows. And that's what you need to focus on and just keep powering through. I've had a rough couple of years recently with the pandemic, having a baby, returning from maternity leave, which maternity leave sucks because it's like you don't even have one really. And doing shows, directing, taking kids to competitions while breastfeeding and pumping. And I was definitely considering a career change. But something told me, stick it out one more year. Stick it out one more year, because finally I was ready to leave on my own. Instead of being pink slipped for once, and something said, just stick it out one more year. And I did, and I had the best school year. I had the best school year this year, and I can't wait for the next one. And again, that's the roller coaster. The highs and the lows. Goodness, I don't know how long this video is. I don't know if it was helpful. I don't know if it brought comfort to any of you all. I can continue to do more of these. I also don't know what my makeup looks like because I'm looking at it in front of this little camera. This is my phone, my little 11 iPhone 11 Pro. Goodness, I hope this video came across the way I wanted it to. These like unscripted kind of open chats. I don't know. I don't know if it was, I guess I'll know when I edit if it came out the way I wanted it to. And hopefully I didn't, I don't know, push any agendas or like make education seem bad, because teachers, they make a difference, and they are guiding the future for these kids, our nation. Teachers are so valuable. And if you're watching this channel, you probably agree, because I do a lot of teacher videos. So hopefully this came across the way that I wanted it to, and I'm happy to do more. Please let me know what kind of teacher diary chats you would like for me to do next. And if you're a teacher who is struggling, like, try to just keep powering through. Don't throw in the towel too soon, because there's going to be highs and lows. If the lows just keep lowing, you know, maybe a career change is possible. And I'm not advocating for staying in a sucky environment. Like, definitely go where you're appreciated. I like doing makeup, and I like talking about teaching, and I like helping people. I like to heal people. So let's do more of these. I enjoyed this. Or maybe this will be my one and only one. I don't know. Find me on Instagram, and we'll chat over there. Have a great day. Bye.